Good morning, everyone. Today, we have all assembled here to receive the great privilege of meeting one of the most compassionate leaders of our time, His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Not only has His Holiness won the Nobel Peace Prize, but he has also successfully propagated his ideas
across.
not only has His Holiness won the Nobel Peace Prize, but he has also successfully propagated his ideas in a world full of destruction and unrest.
His Holiness has inspired us to come together and struggle for a common goal, peace. His emphasis on the need to give up materialistic needs and learn from our own cultures and traditions is much needed in a world where people are looking up to the West when there's so much to learn from the East. His Holiness's thoughts are the stepping stones to a world free from destruction. We have all heard so much about His Holiness the Dalai Lama through media and books. You have been a great source of inspiration to us, and today we aspire to learn from you. As you are the greatest living legend in our time, we couldn't have asked for a better opportunity or a better person to influence our youth than you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you much. So, young brothers and sisters, I'm really happy meeting with young, bright students, because you are the basis of our hope for better future. I, now nearly 78, my life quite a turbulent life. Not due to nature disaster, but man-made difficulties, you see, create a lot of problems. So naturally, logically, anything which we created, then we also have the sort of the ability to reduce these things. If disaster due to nature, that's difficult, beyond our control. But man-made problem, certainly, say, we have the ability or opportunity to reduce these things. So I always is telling, my generation belongs to 20th century. No. I'm just looking same generation who belongs to this century. So they are also one. So this 20th century really, I think, a very, very important or marvelous century of human history. But that century inspires a lot of sort of positive, the development, technology or science, and other many fields. But that century becomes century of bloodshed. Some historians say 20th century number of people who killed through violence around 200 millions. And then I often telling people, such sort of immense sort of violence, including use nuclear weapon. If you see the brought the world, better world, more peaceful world, more just world, no. I think immense violence not only suffer millions of people, but also, you see, creates negative feeling, many people's mind, hatred, fear, distrust. So, beginning of this 21st century, you see problems, including a small scale or local sort of the local violence. These actually symptom of the past mistake and past negligence. There's no question. Therefore, now you, people who belongs to the 21st century, my century now already gone. People who belong to the 20th century now ready to say bye-bye. Now you, generation who belongs to the 21st century, this 21st century, 13 years, 13 years or 12 years passed. Now this is now 13th years. So remaining years yet to come. So this is just the beginning of 21st century. So you have the opportunity to create this century more peaceful century. Peaceful does not mean no longer any problem, no longer any potential of conflict. No. Potential of conflict will remain. Then the different views, different interests, always there. Then in spite that, you see, keep peaceful is through dialogue, not use for force, not relying force, but only reasons and truthful dialogue. So I often used to telling people, 20th century become century of bloodshed. Now this 21st century should be century of dialogue. Any problem, still problem of human being, humanity. We are same human being, about 7 billion human beings. Us basically same human being. Mentally, emotionally, physically, same. And most important, every 7 billion human being, every person, you see, want happy life. Every human being have the right to achieve happy life. So on that level, we are same. So if we emphasize, we are same human being. I want happy life. You want happy life. And respect their right. And some little disagreement happen. The real basis, you must recognize the others, also same human brothers, sisters. They also have every right to overcome suffering. So then why I create more suffering? Illogical. Isn't it? So the basis of genuine dialogue, genuine spirit of dialogue is respect others' right, others' life. The India's 1,000-year-old concept of ahimsa also is on the basis of respect others' life. So, through that way, even you see the circumstances become such, ready to fight violence, but respect others' life, must restrain harming others. That's non-violence. ahimsa. So that's your tradition, 1,000-year-old tradition. So therefore, now this 21st century should be a better century. And then also you see population also increasing. The global warming is also now increasing. So the potential of major disaster also increasing. The nature resources also now some sort of limitations there. So this century will not be without a problem. Some problems. So we have to build willpower, no matter what sort of problem face. We must sort of face these problems through non-violent way. Clear? So I'm very happy meeting with a generation who belongs to the 21st century. And then another level, your Indian young brothers, sisters. Historically, I always telling my Indian friend, and in public talks, I always mention, we Tibetan, since Buddha Dharma reached Tibet, we become genuine follower of Indian sort of the Buddhist tradition. So I usually describe you, Indian, historically our guru. We are your chela, your student. And sometimes I sort of jokingly telling people, we not only a chela of Indian guru, but also quite reliable chela. Reason, while all these rich sort of philosophical thinkings or knowledge developed in this country, as far as Buddhism is concerned, particularly in a Nalanda institution, I think several centuries, number of great thinkers, philosophers, used to come from Nalanda. Quite a major portion of their writing available in Tibetan translation. So we study these quite rigorously. So all our knowledge come from India. And while Guru's own land, a lot of sort of ups and downs, particularly Buddhism. Look now, Nalanda, on this now just as a ruined, just one like that. So during this period, we, your student, kept this knowledge intact. So I think we can say we are quite reliable chela. We never forget your guru's knowledge, which we study, which we received that through centuries, we kept that. So we have something very, very special sort of relations. And then me personally, I usually describe, I am son of India. Reason, about 3 years ago, or 4 years ago, some overseas Chinese reporters, you see, one occasion, you see, our meeting. Then one reporter asked me, why you explain yourself, you describe yourself as a son of India. I think he felt this is political reasons or something. Then I told, look, my brain, every part of my brain filled by Nalanda thought. That's the Indian thought, Nalanda thought. Then this physical, about 3 years ago. Then I told last 50 years, this body survived by Indian dals, Indian rice, Indian chapati. So some chapati is too much oil, some very good. So therefore, I consider I am son of India. So from that sort of thing, so on that level also I feel very, very happy and a great honor to have opportunity meeting with young traditional gurus, I mean, gurus people, yeah, gurus land, or younger generation, like that. So now, and also, I often used to telling my Indian friend, India, since you got independence, now nearly 70 years, India still need spirit, the spirit during freedom fight. Like Mahatma Gandhi ji, all these great sort of freedom fighters. Their spirit, truthful, non-violent, principled, and fearless, selfishness. That spirit, although you got independence, but still this kind of spirit, very, very relevant in today's world. I mean, today's India. Otherwise, look, democratic country, rule of law, wonderful. And the constitution based on secularism, wonderful. But you see some pockets, some problems. And then corruptions, all level, including some religious leaders. So we need genuine sort of spirit, truthful, honest, selfishness, fearlessly. Speak out, openly. I think very, very important. So, usually it's my talk. I always talk completely informal way. And please, I consider you as another human being. As I mentioned earlier, young brothers, sisters. And you also look at me as another little bit older, your brother. No differences. So we should, nowadays, our discussion today and tomorrow, so with that kind of feeling, direct discussion, question and answer. And if you have some sort of disagreement, some of my point, then come out, argument. Those Nalanda masters, they are writing always argument. They never carry the spirit of yes, 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 sir. Never. Always raise questions, argue like that. That's very, very important. In order to know the reality, raise questions and argument and try to find contradictions. Through that way, you understand the point, then become true understanding. Right? Otherwise, just you see, yes. Oh, how wonderful, fantastic. Never get real understanding, the point, clear. That's all. Then I usually, carry 2 commitments. Actually, previously, in the past, 3 commitments. Number 1 commitment on the level of I'm a human being. one of the 7 billion human beings. So, human being, social animal. No matter what nationalities or the different countries, but basically we are same human being. So we have to think about humanity. Humanity happy, I get maximum benefit. If humanity face difficulties, and I cannot escape. So even from selfish viewpoint, I have to think about humanity. Since we are social animal, each human being have moral responsibility to think about humanity. Now, on that level, recent centuries, and particularly 20th century, it is quite understandable. You see, people, poverty, material, lack of material facility, or these things. You see, people, and it's a starvation sometimes. You see, the people pay more attention about our immediate because of the requirement. So that's material. So all the technology, these things, you see, mainly focusing how to develop material values. And then I think very existent education system itself oriented about material value. Isn't it? In your school, any sort of lesson about moral ethics? Do you have moral ethics? You have? Oh, that's good. Otherwise, you see, some people have this sort of impression. Moral ethics must be based on religious faith. Then those people who have not much interest about faith, about religion, then no basis of moral ethics. That's wrong. I think India, 1,000 years, you already have secular ethics. So the secular means also, you see, respect non-believers. That's one time, Advani, our casuals of talk, Advani used to told me, since many centuries, India, you see, one school of thought that we call Charvaka, denying existence of life after life, and also denying any value of spirituality, nihilism. So he mentioned the Charvaka's viewpoint is concerned, you see a lot of sort of criticism and sometimes it's condemn. But person who hold that view refer rishi. So indicates respect. So therefore, we really need education, moral education about moral ethics based on secular, not based on religion. That's my main effort. So I use 3 sort of points. Our common experience, everybody come from our mother. Everybody, I think, received maximum affection from our mother. That's our common experience. Then those, people who received maximum affection from our mother, the rest of their life, in deep insight, much happier. Those individuals who received less affection from our mother, or without a mother, or with unwanted child like that, or abuse, the rest of life, in deep insight, no matter how smart outwardly, deep inside, some kind of sense of insecurity or fear always there. So that's our common experience. Then common sense. We look, our neighbors, those people, those family who have full of trust, full of affection, genuine friendship, no matter rich or poor, very happy family. Even millionaire or billionaire, lot of money, but distrust. Isn't it? Jealousy, each other, family member, among family member, jealousy or distrust. That family never be happy family. Clear? So that's, look, different sort of family, different people. Those community where genuine sort of love, affection each other, and there, the full of the spirit of cooperation there. So every family feel, if I have some problems, I can ask with some help from this side, this side, this side, this side. A family, a community, distrust each other. Look this side. Oh, I cannot trust. Look this side. I cannot trust. This side, I cannot trust. Then never be happy family. Never be happy one. Clear? Now, so that's common sense. Then, most important, third point is scientific finding. More compassionate mind automatically create more self-confidence. The person is carry more transparent. Through that way, the person mind more calm, more peaceful. That's very, very, very important for good health. Constant fear, constant anger, hatred, actually eating our immune system. So a number of sort of well-known scientists, according to their sort of finding, for a happy person, they ultimately depend on our mental attitude. Mentally calm, peaceful person become then happy, or physically also is much healthier. So use 3 points, then make clear the material values important. That's only provide physical comfort, not mental comfort. I think you should sort of more research. I think those wealthier family, I think mentally more anxiety, isn't it? Anxiety brings suspicion, distrust. Then I think ordinary middle-class people may be actually more happier. Clear? So therefore, it is totally wrong. Happy life come if material development further develop. That's totally wrong. All our hope put on material value is wrong. Material value, important, useful, helpful. But ultimate source of happy life is within ourselves. So, please pay more attention about our inner value. These inner value, from the birth, we already equipped these things, not newly cultivated way. Simply nurtured these, warm-heartedness, nurtured with sort of, with understanding the value of these things. Then second, my commitment, then I'm talking on the level I'm Buddhist monk. So the various different religious traditions, in spite big differences in the philosophical field, mainly, say, theistic religion, non-theistic religion. Within theistic religion, for example, the Muslim, Christian, and Judaism, and some sort of ancient sort of Hinduism, which believe creator. Within that, some different views in philosophical field. And then non-theistic religion, one part of Sankhya, no concept of creator. Then also Jainism, no concept of creator. Then Buddhism, no concept of creator. Ourself, ultimately, ourself creator. Our future created by your physical action, verbal action, mental action. So you yourself, ultimately, creator. Happy life, unhappy life, entirely depend on yourself. So within non-theistic religion, again, it's a philosophical field. You see, I think one obviously, the only Buddhism concept of anatma theory. The Jainism and the Sankhya both believe Atma. So differences there. But in spite of all these differences, all carry teaching of love, compassion, forgiveness, tolerance, contentment, self-discipline. So all major religious tradition, as far as our practice is concerned, all same. And then different philosophy, if we think sort of deeply or realistically, we need different philosophy because of humanity. There are so many different mental dispositions. So just one concept, one philosophical view is not sufficient, cannot give sort of satisfaction for a variety of people. We need variety of philosophical views. All aiming, try to produce good human being, sensible human being, compassionate human being. So, no problem. So, my second commitment is promoting religious harmony. Then previously, third commitment is about Tibetan struggle, Tibetan national struggle. But now, since 2 years, I already retired, and all my political responsibility give to, transfer to elected political leadership. So not only myself is retired, but also since the 5th Dalai Lama, the Dalai Lama institution become head of both temporal and spirituality. Now that about, I think, nearly four centuries, now that I ended. So 5th Dalai Lama created that sort of due to circumstances, is the 5th Dalai Lama, take both responsibility. Then, since then, automatically Dalai Lama become head like that. So now I voluntarily, happily, proudly end it. What do you think? This is right decision or wrong decision? Huh? What? 가르쳤어. Right or wrong? 이제 럽도 말세. Okay. So okay. No. This is no. It's okay. So I have, no longer the responsibility as a sort of political leader. At the same time, I'm Tibetan. And more important, almost I think 6 million Tibetan, mainly inside as well as outside. You see, they trust me. So, morally, still I have some sort of moral responsibility like that. But technically, I already retired. So now, the 2 points, you also is a human being. So, you see, you have the responsibility. Think about humanity. Then, those believers, Hindus or Muslims or Christians or some other sort of believer, say you have the responsibility to build genuine, closer feeling among different follower of different faith, like that. So, now, question, answer, start.
If you have a question for His Holiness or wish to make a comment, raise your hand, and as His Holiness has urged you, you're free to disagree with him and to get into an argument in the highest level in the tradition. So anybody a question, please raise your arm and we will rush as soon as we can a microphone to you. If you could just identify yourself and your school.
Good morning, sir. I'm Chitwan Sharma, Happy Day School, Shivpuri. In this today's world, most people focus on happiness. And the basic ideology behind happiness has been made like that you should be satisfied with what you have. So does that mean that we should not be looking towards any progress?
Contentment, rather. I think contentment. I always is telling people, material facility. In any case, there's limitation. So in that respect, practice of contentment is helpful. Always greed, want more, then never get satisfaction. Then inner quality, inner value is concerned. Inner value related with mind. Mind, no physical. So mind can develop infinitely. So any sort of value about mind should not have contentment, so that your mind can develop further. For example, my own case. Now, nearly now, 78 years old. But still, whenever I have some time, I always read. Now, for example, in Dharamsala, my breakfast is some sort of books, mainly is Buddhist text, Buddhist philosophy or Buddhist sort of logics or these things. And while the mouth eating, my eye look. So whenever I have some time, I always study. So each day, the mental sort of knowledge, each day further develop, should not have contentment. Because it is nature can develop infinitely. Then furthermore, as a Buddhist monk, as you practice shamatha and practice vipassana, see, your mind can develop some sort of different stages. According to my own little experience, you see, make effort continuously. Decade by decade, the mind can change. Physical, now getting older, go like that. Mind, usually, if you really train, if you have sort of the basis of always analyze, use sharp mind, then physical become older, but mind still remains sharp. So contentment, two fields. One field where in any way, limitation, better contented. The field can develop infinitely, should not have contentment. Next question.
Good morning, sir. I am Nidhi Khandelwal from Happy Days School. My question is, why more and more autonomy is given to China, as that country is creating several problems for our country, as they had captured our several parts? What is the reason behind it? Why they are not internationally pressurized?
Karsa. This is a political question, no? Ka. Appearances, reality, there's always a gap. I think like you, young, full of enthusiasm, think when look different things, appears sometimes quite simple. Reality, not that simple. I think best answer, I think Prime Minister or Foreign Minister or those of the experienced officials, right? Diplomatic, I think they know better. So they will give you, I think, more satisfactory answer. Now, among Tibetan also, you see now, young Tibetans, you see, they say, oh, we want independence. Since in the early 70s, we set up our mind, our policy, not seeking independence, but meaningful autonomy, which Chinese constitution itself, you see, provided, mentioned that. So therefore, meaningful autonomy is not against the Chinese sort of constitution or Chinese government. Now sometimes you see the totalitarian system. The party is the supreme sort of what's the power there. So sometimes it's not properly sort of carry these sort of rights which mentioned in the constitution. So that's the problem. So we are not seeking separation. We are seeking genuine self-rule or autonomy. Some you see Tibetan young people, you see they, particularly now these days, you see they really criticize our sort of stand, and you see say, oh, we must now change this policy. Again, now here, appearances, the emotionally, oh, independence, something very fit. But the reality, no, not that simple. People's Republic of China, most populated nation, 1.3 billion population. Now economically becoming stronger. And military power also, of course, they really devoted about the military forces. Not easy. Then member of UN, Security Council, permanent member. So this, and then look now, for example, one example, Syria. I think everybody, whole world, you see, they showing real sort of anxiety, concern, and criticize. But actual sort of, they sort of implement, so actually, you see, there's limitation. Okay. Unless Russia, China support, difficult. So world almost like hand tight. So things are not easy. like that. But I think overall, you see, number of now Chinese, particularly among the writers, among the intellectuals, last several years, I met a number of Chinese religious leaders, religious believers, and scholars. I think few hundred I met, and then Chinese student. I think few thousand I met in different places. When we explain about our sort of thinking, solution for Tibetan problem, which mutually agreeable sort of solution. All these Chinese, at the beginning, some little bit sort of cautious or a little bit sort of negative suspicion. But when we discuss, when we mention these things, everybody fully support. I think one example, last few years, we noticed article in Chinese language wrote by Chinese, about I think 200, about 1,000 articles wrote by Chinese. I think about 200, I think over 200 in mainly China itself. So all over 1,000 articles, all fully support about our midwave approach and very critical about their own government policy. So, say ours or today, our way of approach or stand. Although the government level, you see, not sort of not sort of concrete sort of the result, but public level, very good sort of response. So after all, public is more important. The government level, although totalitarian regimes, this government remain longer period, but after all, because up to people. And then also, including Indian government and the United States and many and UN and the European Union, all this is fully support about our midlife approach, like that. So like that, you see, we have to approach more holistic and realistic. That's very, very important. Such such matter, our wish, our emotion should not involve too much emotion. Oh, I want this immediately. Won't help. We must approach realistically, holistically. Clear? Next question.
It's a lady in the corner, and then we'll move backwards. Please identify yourself.
Good morning, Your Holiness. My name is Ira, and I'm from the Shriram School. And I wanted to ask you, what is your definition of enlightenment? Like, what do you mean?
Kasa, destination.
Definition or destination?
Enlightenment.
Definition of.
Yes.
Definition.
Yes, of enlightenment.
Oh. I think basically the meaning is our mind by nature, awareness, knowing. So that, now this moment, limited due to two factors. One, kasota, some kind of ignorance, more or less nature. And another one, actually, distorted ignorance. Right? So you see, these, firstly, I think the second, the distorted ignorance must remove step by step. Again now here, there's huge gap, appearances and reality. So we must investigate what's the reality. Only through clear understanding about the reality, then the ignorance which based on appearances will reduce. So now here, reality, according to Buddhism, different explanation about reality, about those theistic religion, reality, something different. Of course, all these, now for example, according to theistic religion, all these are creation of God. The ultimate reality, God. Clear. God means full of compassion, full of love. So all major religious tradition who have some philosophical sort of tradition, they always try to find the reality. Now scientists also is very, very helpful to find out reality. Through that way, now in physics, the quantum physics now come. Not based on appearances, but try to find out the ultimate reality. Then the final sort of their finding is, firstly, kasota, particles, right? Particle. Then further, then atom, further, quark, further, then finally cannot find. So anything cannot find objectively. So that's quantum physics also is mentioned that. Buddhism also, Buddhist philosophy, in Buddhist, there are different philosophical views. Mainly, Vivasek philosophy, Sautrantic philosophy, Chittamantra philosophy, Madhyamika philosophy, and within each, again, you see different philosophical views. So all is a try to understand the reality. The purpose to understand the reality, not just expand our knowledge, but try to reduce ignorance. Clear? So I, as a Buddhist monk, and also the student of Nalendra masters, so I try, as I mentioned earlier, every day I think, analyze. My daily meditation, about 5 hours. I usually got up 3:30 every day. And then next 5 hours, some prayers, but mainly analytical meditation, vipassana. Not genuine vipassana, but some kind of similar practice of vipassana. Vipassana means investigation. Proper vipassana with help of samatha, samadhi or shamatha. Shamatha. So I have no experience about shamatha. My excuse is I have no time. Shamatha practice, you have to spend at least several months completely isolate, completely silence. That's impossible. Perhaps even I got some the possibility of that kind of practice. I may not carry it because of my laziness. So my good excuse is I have no time. But the type of vipassana is analyze, that every day, I practice that. About nature of I, self, nature of body, nature of mind, nature of time, nature of Buddha, nature of the world. Always investigate, analyze. So very, very helpful. So some understanding about the reality, according to now Buddhism, particularly the Madhyamaka philosophy. Now, this very moment, if I remember about that thing, about that sort of philosophical views, then here you appears as a mirage sabe. Juma. Miju. Oh, mirage. So that effect, anger, attachment, these emotions, you see, based on grasping something, any object, grasping something absolute, something good, something bad, absolutely. That acts develop attachment, anger. One American the scientist, I think scientist, Kasa Hong Ming ji sabe. Kasa Hong Ming ji. Kasa. Oh, Aaron Beck. When I met him, his age already 84. I met in Stockholm. Now I don't think he no longer, I think, on this planet. So he told me, now he's a scientist. His long years, many years of experience, he concluded, when we develop anger, the object which we feel angry, that object appears something very bad. But the reality, that sort of negative thing about the object, 90% of negativeness is mental projection, he mentioned. That's exactly Nagarjuna's text mentioned that. All these negative emotion, destructive emotion, you see, comes, develop, this strong sort of grasping. The things are something absolute. So they understand about the reality. No independent, absolute existence, but everything is due to other factor. So through that way, appears independent, absolute, but understand no such things. That due to other factor, it exists. So the kasa, mirage, illusions. So it's quite helpful. Of course, I never say I have sort of deep experience, but still I have some sort of experience as a result of now I think last 50, 60 years sort of practice or study. So these are the sort of way to reduce ignorance, distorted ignorance. Because that distorted ignorance is the basis of all this destructive emotion. Destructive emotion, firstly, is to destroy our peace of mind. Then through that way, violence, through verbal violence, physical violence come. Clear? Okay? Some answer? Enlightenment. Nature. What the?
She wanted to know what is enlightenment. Do you have a question related to
So
that?
just I mentioned, you see, the mind, the very nature of mind is awareness. So awareness, because of the ignorance, we not sort of fully develop the potential of awareness. So, through effort, through meditation, through knowledge, reduce these ignorance. Then the nature of mind, awareness increasing. Then I think the very nature of the enlightenment, that's I think according to Buddhism, then mind, the different level of mind. Now for example, this moment, our mind, mental state, with full sort of the cooperation with sensorial consciousness, seeing, hearing, smelling, raw, taste, and touch. These are 5 sensorial sort of consciousness. Then dreams, dream level, dream state, no longer the organs working, but mental state. Within that, now scientists also now, brain specialists, they also now realize the dream state a little sort of higher, then deep sleep little sort of deeper. So mental state, judging brain sort of wave, you see, we can say there are different levels of mind. Now the subtle mind, there now scientists also, you see, cannot sort of, so far, not yet sort of experimented. That is at the time of death. Some practitioner, after death, the body remains very fresh. Just I think last week at Dharamsala, one very old practitioner, long time sort of illness. After his death, 5 days, his body remained very fresh. So such sort of case, sometimes I think 3 weeks, 2 weeks, some cases 4 weeks, body remain fresh. My own tutor, 13 days, dead, clinically. Doctor, physician, doctor come, examine. They claim dead. But body remain very fresh. About 2 years ago, in New Zealand, one Tibetan monk, after his death, in hospital, so his body remained very fresh. So they sort of the rule, the dead body cannot remain in the hospital. So then, in order to seek permission, remain dead body in the hospital, you see, they, some doctors, you see, come examine, then clinically dead, but body very fresh. So, okay, remain. It happened like that. So this, our explanation is the all grosser level of mind, which based on brain, is now no longer working, dead. But all these grosser level dissolved most subtle level of mind. That subtle mind still in the body. So there are sort of different level of mind. Clear? So that mind, we ordinary people, that subtle mind, when actual experience, just I don't know how to say, unconscious or I don't know. Although the ultimate potential of awareness there, but cannot function aware. So through training, that subtle mind can be aware. So that is ultimate level of enlightenment, right? Enlightenment. That's from Buddhist viewpoint. I think quite far. But we believe we have the potential. So all these things, you see, depend on training. So mind, unlike matter, you see, if we make effort, it's some extraordinary experiences can develop. So usually we, those things which in any case, limitation, we never content. The mental level quality, there's no limitation, but we content it. Okay, isn't it? We usually say, even those believers, you see, just recite some sort of prayers or some Sanskrit shlokas, but without meaning, without knowing the meaning. Okay, I think your family also, I think your motherji, your fatherji, maybe morning some sort of offering flowers in the front of Ganesh, in the front of sort of Shiva Linga, like that. And then recite something, but quite often without knowing the meaning. So we contented about mental development on that level. That's wrong. We must study, we must study. And the Hindu tradition, the variety of the non-Buddhist tradition, a lot of philosophical view, philosophical sort of explanation. Very, very useful. In fact, I think Nalendra masters, at least I think 2nd century until perhaps I think 9th century, these several centuries, the Nalendra masters, their sort of their knowledge, their writings, you see, they develop because of the challenge of non-Buddhist school of thought. Similarly, the Hindus, so those great sort of logicians, great philosophers of non-Buddhist, also you see, because of Buddhist sort of challenge. So it is very, very useful. You see, debate, make comparison. Just one concept and believe that, accept that, and then no further development. You see, challenge is very, very important. Do you agree? Very good. So, like that, enlightenment, the very nature of enlightenment, how to develop enlightenment, briefly like that. Next question. I think the microphone, I think hold two microphones, one here, then those people who have questions, then I think come on, line, maybe easier.
have 2 microphones here, and then they can come in.
Sure. I think you hold here, then come.
Rinzan, if you come and stand here.
One here. Oh, then very good. Three microphones, yes. Must.
You can come forward.
Oh, now questioners, you should come.
Yeah, Rinzan, come.
And lines now here also, you see. Oh,
Okay.
yes. No.
I'm Natasha Oza from the Shriram School Aravali, and you are a figurehead for Buddhism and a role model for people all around the world. In today's day and age of competitiveness and the turmoil that we have, how do you channelize your feelings to good for Tibet and for the rest of the world? And how do you suggest we, as the youth of today, do the same?
Not very clear question.
Do you want to sum it up?
Basically, in today's world, how should we, as the youth, channelize our feelings into good?
In what ways can the young people work towards being good? So what is it to be a good human being?
Yeah, in the world of today.
Competition, I think firstly, I think, as I mentioned earlier, holistic. That's very, very important. I think the very purpose of education is try to reduce gap, appearances and reality. So in order to know the reality interdependent. So in order to know the reality, you just look from one angle. You can't understand. You cannot get the real picture. So you must look from various angles. 3 dimension, 4 dimension, 6 dimension. So you must use your mind, look from various angles. Then you get the fuller picture of the reality. Then your approach become more realistic approach. So that I think very, very important.
Yes, I think she's also pointing to the issue of compassion. So what is it to be a good human being?
Oh, this question, this point. Then, as I mentioned earlier, the education, existing education or knowledge related to here. We notice, you see, there are some very brilliant mind, but something bad here. Or, other hand, is a very compassionate person, quite dull. Now we must combine knowledge here and warm-heartedness, sense of responsibility. Sense of responsibility, not out of selfish, but sense of concern of others' well-being. Then all knowledge combined with that, then all sort of knowledge become constructive. Look, the September 11th sort of event. Those people, especially who plan, who carry these sort of plan, brain is concerned, very smart. The dull person cannot carry these, cannot plan these things, or cannot sort of, because of carry these work. Very risky. So their brain is concerned, very smart. But that smart brain, guided by full of hatred, anger. So therefore, we must, know the education, mere knowledge here, not necessarily bring peace of mind oneself. More knowledge, more better education, too much sense of competition. And competition brings hatred or suspicion. So sometimes education also creates more mental problem. So we must pay more equal attention. Brain development, meantime, sense of warm-heartedness or sense of sort of, warm-heartedness mainly is a sense of concern of others' well-being. That also, you see, on the basis of religious faith, good. If you have not much interest about religion, then simply secular ethics, as I mentioned earlier, these things, we can develop warm-heartedness or sense of sort of concern of others' well-being. That, I think, is very, very important. For your own selfish sort of reason, your own sort of interest, even your sort of successful marriage with this sort of sense of compassionate sort of feeling here, your marriage will be happy marriage and long-lasting happy marriage. That here is, I usually sit telling some maybe a little bit of teasing those young ladies. You say, here I think not I think I haven't seen, or some sort of because of color here, and here, like that. So they pay much attention about physical beauty, external beauty. But real beauty is here. here, full of suspicion, full of hatred, full of anger. The external beauty, nothing. Those people who married, then within a few months, divorce. Why? Lack of inner beauty. Clear. So therefore, the warm-heartedness is your own sort of interest. It's very, very important. There, I can tell you through my own little experience, my mind, years, you see, practice altruism, compassion. That brings more self-confidence. I can talk frankly, transparently. That brings, when I talk people, now for example here, I have no sort of anxiety or no sort of fear. If I too much sort of emphasis, or I should be a wonderful person, or I should get some sort of reputation like that, selfish reason, then talk people, each word artificial. Then many hypocrisy come. Sometimes I used to publicly telling, religion sometimes teach us hypocrisy, how to act, how to practice hypocrisy, or telling very nice things, honest, truthful, compassion, but doing something differently. I think I can easily practice that. Oh, I'm a holy person. I'm Dalai Lama. Or tell nice things and doing something differently. So, that's why even religious people, or people who have religious religious name, but some cases, this is some, or the corruptions happen. So, so it's a combination, education and warm-heartedness. Warm-heartedness also is through reasons. Oh, Buddha or God say, we should be compassionate. Not that way. Analyze. What's the value? Now ask your doctor, ask your scientist, what use about anger? What use about compassion? Then doctor, those experienced scientists, medical scientists tell you. So like that. So therefore, the more sense of concern of others' well-being, that's compassion. That really immense help to your own interest. And that really affect your body, because of the physical health. Also, you see, very sort of positive effect, like that. And then I think you quite beautiful. So you see your smile with warm-heartedness, then genuine, wonderful smile. But here, some suspicion, an artificial smile may not bring that kind of effect. Clear? Yes, next question.
Good morning. I'm Prashika Dua from Happy Day School, Shivpuri. As you said, our young generation should have the spirit of fearlessness and selfishness for development of our country. If we are having that spirit, so at this stage of 15 or 18, what we can do for it?
At this age of 15 to 18 years, how can we become fearless at this age to be able to make a difference in the world?
Fearless. main factor, your work or your aim should carry truthful, realistic, then self-confidence comes. Self-confidence reduce fear. Even if someone argue or create some obstacle, you can talk, you can sort of argue. If your own motivation is something, the differences, appearance and reality, reality something different. Real sort of your interest something different, but show others something different. Then fear increasing. Truthful, honest, that also based on reasonable thing. Then your self-confidence increase. Then your fear automatically reduce. Some sense? Yes, further question? Oh.
So if we are fearless,
I think the Rajiv, come here.
if we are fearless, then what can we do for our country? At this stage.
Oh. Now, first responsibility, I think first task, try to, I think, because of that, first task, number one, I think the gap rich and poor must reduce. Of course, I'm not expert, but I feel the development in farm area, rural area, we must pay more attention the development of rural area, not urban area. Look in Delhi or Bangalore or Hyderabad, you see these big cities, still, you see, the month by month extent. And a job seeker from countryside, slums. India, basically farmland. So we must sort of pay more attention about development in rural area. There's, I always see telling people and also feel like Japan or also Taiwan. Small Taiwan, of course, is small island. The farmers, good education, and their farm system mechanized, so educated farmers, their house, their living standard, more or less same in urban people, right? That, I think, real development of India, real transformation of India must come from rural area. That's one thing. I think yesterday or day before yesterday, I think 2 days ago, I heard it's BBC, as the parent, you see, working some sort of bigger town, one parent. So then the child left in their home, right, in their home. No? So these long run children who less sort of spend less time with parent, long run very harmful. So this moment can't help. There's not much work opportunity. So you have to go. In China also now, millions of, you see, farmland join the big cities. And then now look in Delhi, lot of cars. That problem. Now, although you see road, you see some, what you call it, you see road, you see like that, but still you see difficulties, isn't it? So now, the countryside develop. Each village, each sort of family should possess car, and then not much problem where car put. In big city, difficulties, isn't it? So I think you must. The other day, I met some Kasa Chuti, young Kasa Chusananda, a young president of business. Oh, I told, you see, now time comes, you should pay more attention, development in rural area, and for development, school in rural area, and hospital. And then, if not big scale of factory, but middle scale of factory in those village, in villages, then it automatically reduces the number of street children or slums reduce. And so countries' economy. And then also I think rural area development in rural area also can be sustainable economy. Clear? I think this is I want to tell you. Then the second thing, we have to fight about corruption. A few years ago, I coming back from Orissa after I visited the Tibetan settlement there. And at the airport, while I'm waiting, one MP, parliament member, is also there. Then I just express, these rural area, particularly what you call tribes, or tribal area, you see some difficulties. So the local officials and the state government, even central government, must have some sort of plan to improve these things. Then he told me, some sort of plan there, some scheme there, but not implement properly. And then sometime in Ladakh, also the dog. Then some people told me they budget certain scheme. They more than half go to pocket. So finally, poor people suffer. So the corruption, I think we have to sort of talk. We have to remind. Recently, the rape, because of rape, the incident, very sad. But anyway, it's helpful to remind the nation. It's a serious matter. Unless such was to happen, then that unfortunate, but it sort of reminds people and some kind of awareness way. So the corruption also, I think we should talk this. We have to sort of change. We have to reduce all levels, politicians or government officials, all levels. I think then more awareness, more sort of expression of dissatisfaction, I think helpful. Like that. What do you think? Okay. So the young people, now in order to point to other people about this negative thing, you yourself must be pure. Otherwise, you see, your argument or criticism become very weak. You yourself must be truthful, honest, transparent, then point out others' weakness. Clear? Okay, next question.
I'm Nishta from the Shriram School at Ravli. You have stated that the purpose in life is to find happiness. You've also said that these qualities can be obtained with love, compassion, and patience. What do these qualities mean to you?
Kasa.
Purpose
Purpose
of life is happiness. And you said that this can be achieved through compassion and through other qualities. So what are these qualities and what do they mean to you?
Already mentioned knowledge, realistic knowledge, and then compassion as a motivation. These two things there, then your life will be successful. Even if some difficulties happen, no regret. I lost my own country. No regret. Yes, due to many other factors, it happened. The 8th century's great the practitioner or thinker, he mentioned, Kasa, when you face some sort of tragedy, then analyze the tragedy, the situation. If the situation is such you can overcome that, then no need to worry, make effort. If the tragedy, the situation of that tragedy is such no way to overcome, then no use too much regret, no use too much worry. Very practical. So sometimes, you see, something happen, too much worry. Then lack of holistic view. So only think about the negative thing, more worry, more worry. If you look the same event from wider perspective, or now for example, this is a tragedy, the wreck or that tragedy. If you look only that, anger, sadness, but then, that very bad, very unfortunate, but it helped awakening. Where? At the national level. Then, see, your anger, your sort of frustrations, some help reduce. That does not mean you accept that, like that. So I always do that. Some negative things happen. I always look from different angle. This negative things happen. What effect this? Right? What effect come from this? Or possibility this, possibility this. Does that reduce your sort of anger or your frustrations? And then also something happened. What the causes or conditions? That also very helpful to reduce frustrations. If you look that event absolute, independent, then more frustrations. That this happened because of that, and then your frustration reduces. Because of the sort of psychological sort of nature is something, anger, these things you need independent target. When you look from a wider perspective, then the independent target becomes weak. So anger reduces. Clear? That's the system, nature, that nature system way of our emotion go like that. Okay?
Yeah.
So main thing is study. Now here I would like to share with you one sort of Buddhist, now time comes.
Yes.
You see, there are 3 levels of knowledge. One, hearing. Knowledge is what, right? Knowledge from hearing. I think you, student, just you see some knowledge from reading or listen from your teachers or explanation. Just content in that, not very sound. Another book you saw, something different, then you doubt. So the knowledge after hearing, then you must analyze, investigate, analyze, look from various angles and try to raise questions or contradictions. Then to another sort of level of understanding or knowledge after thorough investigation or analyzation. That knowledge is quite firm. Another person, or another book is mentioned, there's something different explanation, then you automatically respond, oh no, I analyzed this thoroughly, so I fully convinced, now this must true. So that's the second level of knowledge, right? On the basis of hearing, knowledge from hearing, the knowledge from experiment, or the investigate, analyze. Then that knowledge must familiarize yourself. Then when you see there's something you see happen, without effort, automatically, answer come. That's the more familiarize.
Familiarizing.
Familiarizing, like that. So it's 3 levels of knowledge. That's very, very important, especially you student. That's why it's a Nalanda tradition, particularly Dignac, the great logician, Dignac and Dharmakirti. You see, in their writing, it's a lot of explanation. It's how to analyze, how to debate. It's some sort of different ideas come, and how to sort of debate. These things happen. It's very, very helpful to sharpening your mind, to get deeper understanding, deeper knowing about the reality. Like that. Good? So, tomorrow morning, I think same time, I have some sort of audience. Thank you. Think more seriously. Then if you have some sort of questions or some sort of find some contradiction about my explanation, then bring tomorrow. I think I never claim I'm good logician, right? Good logician or good scholar. I never sort of feel that. But so I train through that way. About 7, 8 years old, I already start training or learning how to debate these things. So therefore, I love debate. So tomorrow, some argument come. Then we can carry argument till our face become red. Thank you. See you again tomorrow.